How about that? Huh? Straight up Texas. Texas Rangers win in give it some love there. Joshua. Texas Rangers take game 6 just like everybody thought. It is the Texas Porch. I am JP Heath, sticking with this live stream sort of thing. Hope that you and yours are well here. This one is going to be a shoddy, all things considered, with it being a late night. Gotta tuck Josh into bed. I don't see him too broken up, but we will also have your feedback as well. We want to hear where you are listening and or watching from, and give us your reaction to that one. The Rangers turn a very close, tense game into what the box score will say is a laugher, but it certainly was not. Let's see. We got a lot coming up. We want your initial thoughts. My dad may be randomly calling in and unknowingly joining the stream. So there's that. He doesn't watch or listen to the podcast really, but once he catches up, he will want to call and talk to his oldest son about it. But please comment early and often. We truly want to hear your feedback, and the Texas Porch podcast can be heard wherever you get your podcast. Stay tuned for our upcoming episodes. The Heath and Hafford Moving Company and JP and Mitch go to the fair. But first off, I thought I'd get dressed. Every now and then we get dressed. No. Do you mind if I get dressed here?
I guess you want me to take this for a little while you put some shirt on, or
I can hear you a little bit, but it's getting serious here. So we got game 7, pretty much the biggest series in the history of, well, professional baseball in Texas, at least, I think, between these two teams. And I realize I can't look at my computer screen once I put these shades on. Never worn them inside. And that doesn't help for my next joke, as you wouldn't know it by the mess of a start to this one here, but we are pretty much YouTube famous, Josh. I'm pretty much Pat McAfee. That's why I got the shades out. Mr. Beast, I mean, just he's going to come knocking here sometime soon. But just a little over 1 month into this little revamping of the Texas Porch, and we had our most streamed episode ever. So I don't know about you, but a coincidence that we have our most streamed episode when you're not on it. You had the day job. I had the day job the night before.
I was absolutely going to point that out. Like, you were saying how many views you had last time, and I was no part of it, but there was an epic ending. So tonight, if we drop back down, then I think it's all you. I'm out of here. As long as the Rangers win tomorrow, I'm out of here.
I mean, it's pretty much in the bag, right?
I mean, it's a pretty predictable series. Everything that everybody thought was going to happen has happened. So obviously, I don't even know where you go tomorrow. Like, I don't know what the prediction will be. I'd assume the Astros are the favorites and should win. So maybe that's up your maybe that's advantage Rangers.
No comment from the vest. I can't draw you off sides.
No. The legs kicked up on the desk and the vest, and man, you're pulling out all the stops tonight. You're like Adolis Garcia going crazy or getting hit by a pitch to ruin the whole thing.
By the way, see? Size 8, baby. Club Ocho. And it's a little snug. So case in point with my big melon out there. But all right, the way this one goes, we're going to break this down, have some key moments, some post-game notes, and obviously some notes anytime something else pops up. But I guess the initial reaction, you already hit part of it. So I'll take a little bit of the rope. It's kind of what people thought. So it's not too surprising. I mean, in a weird way, form kind of holds with the road team winning, which I don't think anybody predicted in this one. From a Rangers fan, really just processing a lot of it because it just happened. I wonder, hey, you hold on to that one the other night. Hey, cuz Illinois in the house here tonight. You hold on to that, you're celebrating again in the Astros visiting locker room, but it didn't happen. I guess I should also kind of wrap up what I'm saying here and get your reaction as we almost came to texting blows talking about the post game. The late game near Donnybrook and any reaction you had to my summation of it. I thought it was trying to be pretty even handed about it, but never did I think we'd get more riled up on a text over a host job with the Longhorns and the Cougars than a Garcia Abreu near dust up with Maldonado mixed in there too. So before I dive here and hog the mic a little bit, your thoughts?
I thought you summed up the one the other day very well. Like, I mean, I liked it. I still don't get why this is going to be a suspension for Abreu in Game 7. Like, because the only reason that it blew up is because Garcia lost his mind, pushed an umpire, pushed a player, and he's okay. But for hitting a guy in a situation where you don't hit a guy in, then they're going to be suspended. I'm not saying it wasn't intentional. Like, I just don't get why it's an automatic suspension when you've sent me stuff of professional writers that said maybe, maybe not, and the opposite. Like, I don't think it's a guaranteed. And I thought that played a part in today's game where I think that Baker is assuming that Abreu isn't available for Game 7, so that's why he didn't pitch Presley tonight.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
When did this come about? Because I'm really in tune to the Rangers and did not have the national TV up. I was listening to Nadell and Hixie. What they said a couple of times was that the appeal was going to be heard on Tuesday. So why would he not be able to pitch Monday if the appeal is Tuesday? Which I still wouldn't understand. It would make sense that the appeal is Monday for Abreu, but what am I missing here?
The appeal is Monday.
Okay, so it's totally inaccurate on their part. Okay.
Yeah. I love Nadell. I didn't listen to any of it. He's one of the best out there. But no, the appeal's tomorrow, and they're going to have a decision tomorrow. And so unless it gets just dropped to nothing, then Abreu's going to be suspended tomorrow. I assume it's going to get dropped to one game. The hope was the Astros would win today, and so then it wouldn't matter. It would be Game 1 of the World Series. But no, it's going to be tomorrow. I guess it's got to be early. And all indications I've seen from the Astro side are that he's probably going to get it dropped to a game, but that's going to be Game 7 tomorrow. And so I think that's what played into Presley not going out there for the last inning tonight, because they think Presley might have to go 2 innings, maybe even more tomorrow, to fill in the spot for Abreu not being out there. But yeah, I mean that's kind of the scope of where that went. I think that impending decision affects obviously Game 7 when he won't be there probably, and it also affected tonight whenever Baker kind of gave up on the game to let Montero and Stanek go in there in the last inning, where it went from 3-2 or 4-2 to 9-2. Not that it would have. I mean, the Astros probably weren't coming back tonight, but at the same time, that got away from him there, and I think that was the reason, because he didn't want to do what he would usually do in a playoff game of putting Presley out there 4-2, keep it 4-2, hope what happens in Game 5 happened in Game 6.
I gotcha.
And so I just don't. I don't get it. Like, I'm totally like, maybe he did hit it on purpose. You sent me a great podcast today that I listened to.
Wow, good.
That had Jeff Passan and Joe Madden discussing
Tom Verducci.
Yeah, Tom. Yeah, Tom Bertucci. I don't know where I was getting mixed up. But yeah, totally opposite sides of the argument, saying, yes, he definitely hit him on purpose. No, there's no way you hit him on purpose. So I don't grasp how it led to an automatic suspension of 2 games for that. During, like, I would think the logical thing would be to do that suspension in the regular season. But I saw something like this got expedited whenever Chase Utley broke a guy's leg on a slide, because they said if you do that in the game, then you need the punishment against the other person. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Abreu, he gave up a run tonight, so he wasn't great tonight, and he gave up a run earlier in the series. I just don't think he knows where he's throwing. Like, I don't think, even after watching today, I mean, his first pitch to Garcia, ironically, missed 3 feet outside. Like, if he misses 3 feet inside like he did the other day, then
sorry, unintentional there.
But it'd be an issue. Like, I just think that he's in a struggle right now. So the suspension for Game 7, which I assume is coming, isn't great for the Astros because he's possibly the best reliever in baseball when he's on. But
okay, that's good. I do want to break down some of the key moments. So that was intentional. Here's how it happened. In the bottom of the first, Houston got up 1-0. Alvarez singles in Altuve, led off with a single. Astros now 19-3, a rare loss when Alvarez gets an RBI in the postseason. But Eovaldi, as much as he really labored in the first and the third inning, he at least stranded 2 runners for the Astros. And then right after that, Mitch Garver just sneaks one over the right center field wall. Stop me. Wave your hand if you can't hear me. You can't hear that?
I just heard like some white noise.
Okay. Stuff. Well, hey, I tried to do production on the fly. And Josh, we can't have nice things. We can't have nice things. So Vicky's saying she would have hit him with the bases loaded. Yeah, late during the game. Hit Garcia with the bases loaded. That would have been pretty poetic, though. Thanks, Vicky Doug, whoever is on the social media in the Petty East Texas household tonight. But it did bring up a bigger question, even though my live production at trying to be a quality broadcast failed, that just snuck over the wall. How about the amazing barehanded catch by the big guy there in that one? Did you process how like stone cold stoic that was by the guy in the LSU Tigers jersey? Is that just me? I thought that was the coolest thing ever. He just catches it and stares.
He had no reaction to it. Like, it was just like, well, obviously this is what I do. And I assume, I don't know, I hadn't seen the story, but LSU jersey has to be a Bregman jersey, I assume, but maybe not, because he didn't look happy about it. He didn't look disappointed about it. Just
probably because it was the Rangers homer.
Yeah, just stone cold, caught it, sat down, nothing to it.
But then Young has a double play that ends any threat of adding on there. Fast forward to the bottom of the third. The Astros strand 2 more when Abreu grounds out. Rangers' decision to walk Alvarez in that situation, and kind of a against the textbook situation, that pays off. So go to the top of the fourth, and the Rangers led 3-1 when Jonah Heim hit a 2-run Oppo homer, barely got over the wall. And it seemed to almost hit a woman that at first I thought was wearing a Burger King crown. But then I reasoned later when I saw when Tucker robbed that homer that had to have been a King Tuck crown. I guess they hand those out in right field, Mr. Astro.
They don't hand them out, but it's
people just bring them.
King Tuck is his nickname, kind of the King Tut type thing. So yeah, people bring him out there and they say that's his kingdom.
Okay.
So that's kind of what that is. Although if you want to get into Tucker, I don't think we're getting into Tucker or not, but he hasn't been great this series.
No, Not. He has not been great, and that is definitely a topic to address either when we have time tonight or later on, as came up in a big situation late and didn't come through. But so after that, I don't know if they flashed it. I didn't see them flash this stat on the TV, but that homer hit by Heim would not have been a homer in 28 other parks. Yankee Stadium, the only other park that would have been a home run in. But going to the top of the fifth, the Rangers look like they have Framber on the ropes, but they stray into. Simeon drew a walk, but then Seager swung at the first pitch, man. He is a guy that will swing early in the count on you. And Carter bad versus lefty, so that ended any kind of Rangers threat there. Bottom of the fifth, the Astros get a little bit of a break. Maldonado leans into a pitch. I called chicken bleep on that one, but he does. That's a great Maldonado play if you're looking at it from an Astros perspective. Brantley strikes out, goes to 3-0 on Bregman. I thought this was a big sequence at the time because you got to remember it's a 2-run game. Bregman takes a pitch, but then he fouls out to end the inning. Top of the sixth. Did you like this? Phil Maton comes in for Framber. Who was up for the Rangers in that situation? I did not write that down in my notes, but I thought they would leave Framber in that situation. Maybe only gets a batter or two, but ended up it didn't make a huge hill of beans difference in the grand scheme, did it?
I mean, Maton got through the inning, didn't he, without giving up anything?
Yeah, they went down 1, 2, 3. So at
the time I was thinking, you're right. Like I was thinking they'd leave Framber in until a base runner got on because Maton's been pretty good lately though. So I'm guessing that's the thinking. Just bring him in for a clean inning, and Framber wasn't bad, but he wasn't totally on. So, I was fine with that. And so you're saying Maldonado got hit, and so that's bad because he didn't get out of the way.
No, because he leaned into it. I mean, I guess they don't really call it on umps. Umps don't call.
Were you watching the World Series last year when he did much worse than that?
Oh, yeah. Well, I kind of blocked most of that out, I'm sure. But
no, I mean, today
that's his type of play. That's what he does, and he got away with it.
No, it's absolutely. But in the World Series last year, today he actually got. I mean, he wasn't thrown at, but even if he ducks, he's not the niftiest of people. He's kind of our build, so he's not getting out of the way. So he might as well just turn his shoulder. Like that wasn't intentional. Last year in the World Series, he had one where he was like up on the plate and just totally dove into it to the point where the Phillies were really pissed about it. And that was right before Jordan hit the home run that decided the thing. So it's nothing new for him, but there was a person that was messaging today saying how, well, if the Astros get hit, they need to flip out. They need to push an umpire, push a catcher, just go ballistic and get somebody kicked out. So I thought that was a chance, and they didn't do it.
No, they weren't serious, were they? I think I saw what you're talking about, but that's kind of an isolated incident, talking about the Garcia thing.
No, they weren't serious. At the same time, the only reason that Abreu's going to be suspended is because Garcia lost it, despite let's just say a few Astros been thrown at this series that they didn't do exactly what Garcia did.
Something tells me in 2029 we're still going to be talking about this one way or another. No matter how tomorrow night ends, we're still going to be discussing that, right?
We know this. I mean, we discussed the Byron Scott Taco Bueno instances. So yes, we let stuff linger like both ways to the point where we forget what we're griping about. So it'll probably be
right. Yeah.
It'll probably be one of those where we forget exactly what we're talking about, but we'll still be mentioning it.
All right. You're dead on that. No surprise. So fast forward, by the way, Texas gets, the Astros cut it to a 1-run game, a sac fly from Dubon, scores Alvarez there. Neris comes on for the 7th. 1-out walk on 4 pitches. Simeon gets a 2-out single. Simeon's had a bad series, man. He's been on a bad way in the postseason, but that sets up Seager, who grounds out. Neris really pumped up about that one. In other eras, maybe just 2 nights ago, that would have got some undergarments in a wad there. That gave me a little bit of a chuckle, but it didn't offend me in a morally reprehensible sort of way. But shutdown inning, that was a big one for the Astros. This was a 1-run game. You go to the bottom of the 7th. Okay. Altuve singles, and that's the last batter for Evaldi. Josh Sborz comes in, and I'm not being sarcastic here. Josh Sborz starts to do Josh Sborz things. He goes 2 way wide ones to Uncle Mike, but then Uncle Mike chases that one on the outside, and then Sborz gets a strike. Uncle Mike didn't like it, bottom of the zone, but then he gets a 4-6-3 double play. And then you move on to the 8th. Abreu comes in. All right, here's the drama. Like you said, he appealed his suspension. There's a bang-bang play at first. He was clearly safe live, but the appeal takes 10 seconds. Evan Carter eventually gets an infield single. And here we go. Garcia versus Abreu, the rematch 2 days after the theatrics in Arlington. There was a 1-0 hit and run on that Garcia could not make contact on. So Carter swipes second, and then 2 more swings and misses for Adolis. But then Texas tacks on a run to go up 4-2 when Garver looped a double down the left field line. That was a huge insurance run at that moment. And that broke a 2-for-22 stretch for Texas with runners in scoring position. But then Heim flies out on a really nice sliding pay by Brantley, and then Lowe strikes out. He's been in a really bad funk, really the last month, 6 weeks of the regular season and a lot of the playoffs. So, all right, Joshua, we go to the bottom of the 8th. How you feeling? With Bregman, he gets the walk. Jordan goes down swinging, and then Abreu gets a single with Tucker up as the go-ahead run. And then Leclerc comes on to pitch. They go for the righty coming in instead of Aroldis Chapman. And I assume that they give him the 8th and then Chapman the 9th in this scenario, because then later it's confirmed when Chapman gets warmed up, Tucker walks. So you can't say he really didn't come up big in that situation, like I'd said earlier. But 3 cutters to Dubon later. Then there was a soft liner to Seager that then Singleton pitch hits. What I saw some of Astros Kingdom not happy about that Singleton came on to pinch hit in that scenario. So reason that one out for us from an Astros perspective.
I saw a lot of what you saw. Like, there's Bash and Dusty Baker, and I'm still not sure. Like, I think you're okay to pitch hit for Pena there with anybody, because Pena has been really bad lately. Pena swings at a lot of stuff that isn't strikes, and that's kind of what Sborz is doing. Or was it Sborz? Was it Leclerc was on at the time, or was it still Sborz? I don't remember. But whoever it was, they were throwing a bunch of stuff that wasn't strikes.
Yeah, Leclerc.
Okay, Leclerc was on. But he was throwing a bunch of stuff that wasn't strikes, trying to get people to chase, and Pena is awful at chasing. And Singleton's really good about not swinging out of the zone. So that was the reasoning behind it. Like,
yeah, and he worked it full. He got it a full count. Yeah,
he got it a full count. He fought off some pitches. Like, even in retrospect, the way the at bat turned out, I thought it was fine. Like, maybe you go with Diaz there to start off with. Maybe you go with Chas McCormick. I mean, those are 2 obvious ones that are a lot better hitters than Singleton. But I didn't totally hate it, because I knew they were going to pinch hit Diaz for Maldonado right after. So I don't know. It's in general, fans always think they know a whole lot more than the managers do.
That sums up a lot of baseball fans there.
I mean, and I've seen nobody agrees with what he did, but I think you pinch hit with Pena there, and I don't hate that it was Singleton. I mean, he hadn't got a hit in forever. He's batting like 135, so that's not ideal on the optics. But at the same time, I didn't hate it. Like, okay. And he worked. I mean, he was. If Leclerc misses one pitch, then it's a walk, and then it's it's a 1-run game with Diaz coming in to pinch hit for Maldonado. So it's always nice to be able to make decisions after the fact. Unfortunately, managers can't make decisions after the fact, and you know me, I don't mind bashing Dusty a little bit. Like, I'm okay with it, but I don't think you can totally disagree with what he did.
Okay. Well, nuanced point there. as usual from you. So you go to, where are we at here? In the eighth? Yeah, the bottom of the eighth. That was when they had all that with Singleton. So to the ninth we go, Josh. And just like everybody thought, the Rangers would open it up. It started with Montero, the former Ranger, to come on to pitch. Really great at bat from Josh Young to start off that inning with a walk, a little high chopper to Altuve, and the speedy Taveras reaches. They give Altuve an error on that one, right?
Surely. I mean, it was obvious error, but
okay.
I don't know if they. I have no idea of Major League scoring now. They tend to give a lot fewer errors, but I mean, he had it. All he had to do was catch it and flip it. He just lost it in transfer.
Yeah, they did. That was ruled an error. And then the Rangers opened it up. A single for Taveras. Then Seager gets hit with Stanek coming up to make it 5-2. So a little more insurance. And then Garcia silences the boos. Grand slam. He's now got 3 homers and 10 RBIs on the series. It's now 9-2, and that ended up being the final score. Tucker would rob a Jankowski home run. That would have only been his second home run of the season, but the Astros go down quietly in the ninth. And we have what is shaping up to be another dandy, Game 7 of the series. I mean, I'm not too sarcastic when I say just like everybody thought. What did I say? I think, I said Astros in 6, right? That was my official prediction, trying to psych you out. What was yours?
I think I fluctuated between Astros in 5 or Astros in 6. I know I picked Astros. I know I didn't pick them in 7, so I'm not right for sure.
First time for everything for you not being right. But Evaldi, he gets the win. My goodness, man. Framber gets the loss. First on Evaldi, third pitcher in Major League Baseball history to pick up a win in 8 of his first 10 postseason starts. Looking at the box score really quick before we land this thing, Valdez to 0-3. He didn't pitch terrible in this one, I don't think. He did enough. I think what won the game for the Rangers, I mean, in this modern day of baseball, homer the other guys. That's what wins. And their big hits, Garver, 3-hit game, got some Garv sauce doused on the Astros. And then Heim had the biggest home run of his career there. Garcia's homer might have felt good to kind of wash out the memory of the 4 strikeouts in that game. What did you think about the Astros fans leaving early? Everybody has their prerogative. The same thing would have happened if the roles were reversed in Arlington and the Astros had forced a Game 7. But, man, as a guy that but again, I do the same thing. We've been to games and we left that shellacking early, didn't we? But that was a 13-run middle of September game. I just hate to judge people, but why are they leaving early, Josh? Those are your fans.
Well, for the record, we did leave early on the last game we went to because the Astros were beating the absolute crap out of the Rangers. So that was your choice. But at the same time, that wasn't Game 6 of the ALCS, and I don't get it. Like, I mean, maybe after the Grand Slam, but I think that was before the Grand Slam when the fans were cleared out. Yeah, I mean, but we discuss this all the time. Maybe it's more of a just us being mad about stuff, which we're not mad about stuff in general, but there are so many fans that go to the game that absolutely don't care about the game, and I don't know how that translates to the playoffs.
100%. That's you retire now from podcasting. That's 100% correct.
And I don't think that's the diehard fans that live and die by every pitch. I mean that's just what happens. I can't describe it. I would say that these are the ones that really don't care about the game, the ones that are pouring out after the 8th inning. But I mean, there's certain games where I'm there and it's big games and they just file out after the 7th inning after somebody struck out in a 3-2 game of one that somebody really needs. So I can't defend the Astros fans. I'll just say that it's not just relegated to them.
Yeah, it's definitely not relegated to them. They're the same fans that do the wave. They're the same fans that boo on pickoffs and probably booed. I mean, I can understand the booing of Garcia, or the ball's hit medium depth left or center field and they think it's a home run. But fans are fans. That's what, yeah, exactly. Too much dinero out there to leave early, I think, as Vicky Doug says. How about this? Not to kind of poke my thumb in your eye, but Framber's last 5 starts at Minute Maid, 0-5 with an ERA just south of 9. And I can tell you one thing, he's not pitching tomorrow, but 2 things. One, how does Javier do? And B, Astros are due now to win 1 at home now that they've lost 3 at home here this series, but all of 23 they have stunk at home. So how do you remedy that? But I guess it's the whole thing of the early offense. They got the early offense up in Arlington at the what were we sarcastically calling that? The home goods store designed as a ballpark disguised as a ballpark. I don't know, but
first off, on Fromber, he wasn't good. He wasn't great tonight, but he was fine. Like the Astros should win when he pitches okay like that. But for Game 7, Javier, I just don't know. He's been good in the play. He's been good in the playoffs. He's been good for a while. Like I trust him a lot more than you should trust Scherzer. But at the same time, I can't guarantee that he's not going to go out there and give up 3 runs in the first inning because that's kind of what he's done. So I feel good about it. Like I really do. I'm not the JP pessimist that comes around with sports fandom. I know you're an optimist in life, but I'm guessing you're going to say, I hate that Scherzer's pitching tomorrow and I hate this. But and I'm trying not to be an Astros homer, but if you would have told me before the series that if nothing else, then you get a Game 7 with Scherzer coming off an awful start and not being really good, I would have taken Game 7 for it. So, crank up some Creed in the stadium tomorrow, get some fans booing the Astros, make it feel like a road game, and take your chances.
No Creed, please. No Creed. We're done with that bid. No Creed. It's worn off.
I hope so.
To answer your question about Scherzer as we wrap this little puppy up, I don't feel great judging by what he did. And even a few of his starts down the stretch, I mean, it's pretty good, I guess, in Baltimore, against Baltimore, but didn't pitch against Baltimore. So he's pretty, that hit me too. The late night's getting on me, Josh. But there's no other option unless you're starting Daney, but Dunning, the combination, he's the love child of Andrew Haney and Dane Dunning. But with Haney going tonight, that lets me kind of think, they're going to pitch Dunning, but then is something the buzz has been, is something wrong with Dunning because Bochy just hasn't gone to him at all. Like, has he had some kind of arm ailment? Because as solid as he was down the stretch, yes, sir.
For the record, though, I don't think it has anything to do with this series, but I saw something today where there's been one series in Major League history where the home team lost all 4 games.
I know it happens.
Yeah, and that was 2019 World Series against the Nationals where Scherzer pitched Game 7. So
my Nats.
Yeah, that's that would be, he doesn't scare me, but at the same time, when it's after the fact, if the Rangers win tomorrow, then you're like, oh yeah, well, Scherzer's the thorn in their side. Like right now, I say, give me Scherzer. If I'm an Astros fan, take your chances. But if Scherzer goes out there and throws 6 shutout innings, then Astros fans forever are going to say, yeah, that Scherzer, we knew we had that coming. And I will say right now that no Astro fan saw that coming, and probably no Ranger fan saw it coming. So I'm putting it out for the record in case tomorrow night at 10 o'clock, whenever he does it, then everybody's like, "Oh yeah, we should have seen that coming." No, I don't think any of us saw it coming.
This guy does not see it coming. I think it's going to be tense. I think they might touch Javier a little bit, but it's going to be anybody's game from the 6th inning on. And if you're up for it, we can call the post-game pod now. I could be on a little bit of a DVR situation because I've got day job duties at the start of the game. So I'll have about 9 big screens around me.
How are you going to avoid an Astros score in a sports bar in Houston?
It's an oyster bar. So that I have one thing going for me, that it's not a sports bar, but I'm going to try to lobby and just see if anybody says anything about putting Monday Night Football on the 2 biggest screens. So, because they have these monster big screen, this one monster big screen. So maybe if I can get the Rangers on the other screens. But either way, like the first lady of the Texas Porch pointed out, you'll be fine. It'll be the first 3 innings, but who knows? Maybe Scherzer gets rocked for 6 innings and it doesn't matter after that. But
Scherzer will not get rocked for 6 innings. That's my prediction.
6 runs, yeah.
If he gets rocked for an inning, he's gonna be gone. But
yeah,
good luck to you.
Yeah. I'm gonna try. Yeah, you know me. I'm nothing if not persistent. So I'm gonna try. But deep breaths. Postseason baseball, man. Still not used to it after 6 games. Well, stream numbers, I think we're getting initial reports from those. Josh, you're dragging down the viewers again. So I don't know what we're going to do here. This dynamic. Maybe we need brawls or fake brawls and controversy in other games to draw out the emotion of folks.
It may be a 7 o'clock podcast instead of an 11 o'clock podcast.
Yeah, that makes a difference too. And people are actually awake and able to watch it. But all right, Joshua, that does it for us from here for now. Appreciate you.
It was fun. This can be a really fun podcast for one of us tomorrow, and just misery for the other one. So good luck to whoever loses.
Yeah. Who's that gonna be? Wait. I can't get my... Yeah, see, you pointed to yourself.
Well, the camera inverts, so there you go.
We're pros, man.
Absolutely.
Pros. Oh my gosh. Speaking of pros, I'm recovering from all my streaming fame. So bright. Could I look like a bigger dork than I did right now?
I don't think so.
Add your favorite.
Oh yeah, there you go. You can.
All right, Josh.
Get that vest on in 90-degree heat in Texas.
All right, man. That does it. Have a great rest of this day or night. God bless you. God bless Texas. We'll talk to you next time out here on the Texas Porch. Rangers in 7.
Astros in 7.